Hello, this is Ian Carlin. Welcome to A Mind for Fitness. I'm glad you could join me today on the program. This is the program that provides you with the practical and in the practical insights and things like that that help you reach and maintain your weight loss goals. If you've already maintained your weight loss goal, if you already reached your weight loss goals, I want to see you maintain those weight loss goals. I don't want to see you messing up and falling back into old habits. And part of what we do here is to encourage you to keep on your weight loss journey, and not fall off the wagon, to continue towards your goals, to reach those goals, to surpass those goals, to break those goals, to leave those goals in the dust, and to get onto new goals and to stay in a healthy weight. So, just a couple of things that I want to announce before we get into the meat of our program. And the meat of our program is, and this is so important because what a better time to talk about weight loss goals than after the middle of January, because that's about the time that people just have already broken their resolutions. And I'm going to talk about a couple of factors as to why people break their New Year's resolutions regarding weight loss. I'll talk about one question specifically that will determine whether or not you have reached whether or not you will keep your goals. Okay, whether or not you will keep your goals. This one question will determine whether or not you will keep your goals. Now, if sorry, got if you are not watching this, then you don't know this, but on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know that I have a black eye, and it's a little bit distracting even to me. Like, I don't walk around looking at myself, but now that I'm on camera and I see it, it's a little bit distracting. So sorry about that. And I want to just acknowledge that I have it. So I don't want, everyone like, what's he doing? Does he not know he has a black eye? Yeah, I know I got a black eye. Got it in my MMA class. I actually got hit a couple times in the same eye. So it doesn't hurt. It just looks a lot worse than it is, and it's a little bit distracting for me. So if I kind of wander off, I'm actually looking at my own eye in the camera, so like, or on the monitor. So that's one thing that's kind of a little bit different. And the other thing that's kind of a little bit different is I got this standing desk, and I'm just kind of getting used to the microphone being this high and me standing up and not sitting down for this standing desk, because I actually like to stand up to talk better than I like to sit down to talk. So I'm kind of getting used to the new format to see whether or not I will keep it. So a couple of little bit of a distractions, but I'm going to try to put those aside the best that I can, and really get on to the um, the subject for our program, which is keeping your weight loss goals for this year. Now, in my opinion, one question that will determine whether or not you will keep your weight loss goals, or whether or not you will abandon those weight loss goals. And for many of you, it's already past the 2 week marker and you've already blown it. And now I want to talk about why and what we can do to get back on the wagon with these things, because this is the program where I really want to help you. And this applies to me right now. I'm going to telling you something a little autobiographical as well. This applies to me right now as well as it applies to anybody. And I am taking my own advice on this, and I am determined this year to actually reach my weight loss goals. As many of you know, I've actually not got to goal weight. I mean, I'm significantly healthier than I used to be, down, sometimes around 100 pounds, depending upon how you count it, depending upon the week. But I struggle with anywhere from, you know, 10 to 20 pounds, just depending upon the month and the mood I'm in and the season that I'm in. Now, I've lost a lot of weight and I don't walk around, and I'm certainly not identified as a fat person, but to be that cut person, I haven't gotten quite there yet. And what I'm going to be talking about today is why. Okay, it is why. Now, so let's get into it. Okay, so what is this one question that will determine whether or not you will reach your weight loss goals this year or whether or not you will abandon them. Or certainly, this will determine whether or not you will abandon them. And then there's other factors that might that you might need to have in place in order to reach your weight loss goals. So what's the one question? Here's the one question. And that is, are you doing anything different than you did last year? Okay? Are you doing anything different than you did last year? Now, for many of you, doing anything at all is doing something different. Okay? For many of you, this might be the first time or the first time in a long time that you've actually set weight loss goals or weight loss resolutions. So for you, just taking the action, just doing something is doing something different. Okay, so this might be for various reasons. Somebody might be in this category for, first of all, this might be the first year that you decide that, hey, I'm overweight and I don't like it anymore and I want to do something about it. There's a small percentage of people out there who are like that. It's just like maybe you're younger, you're in your 20s and you're like, oh, you've been fit your whole life, or you've been satisfied with being a little bit overweight, but now it's really getting bad. And so this is going to be the first time you really say, hey, I'm going to do something about it. Or you've done something about it in the past, but it's been like a long time. It's been like a really long time. You were discouraged about gaining weight and losing weight and gaining weight and losing weight, and finally you just said, I'm going to be fat my whole life, and you just said, and then finally something happened, and now it's a tipping point, and you're saying, hey, I got to get healthy. And so this might be the first in a long time you've actually made weight loss goals for yourself for the new year. And if you're in that category, then this will be relevant to you. But also, even taking an action like writing down your goals is something different for you. But the real thing is, are you doing something different than you did last year? Okay. So, for example, and I've said this on the program before, but it is true. We play the same movie hoping that it will end differently. So, you go through the Christmas vacation and you gain weight and you gain more weight than you did last year. And finally, you just said, okay, this is going to be the year. I've had enough. But you said that last year. And this year you say, oh, I've had enough, but this time I really mean it. But you said that last year. This time it's really enough and I really mean it. And you get out the weight loss books, but it's the same weight loss book you had out last year. It's the same. You say, oh, I'm going to start my protein power or my Atkins or my bulletproof diet or whatever it is. And you pull it out and it's the same one you did last year. And you say, oh, I'm going to work out, I'm going to go to the gym, but not on Monday. Let's go on Thursdays because that's when my friend can go. And you show up. You actually do show up to the gym, but you showed up to the gym for those reasons and those times last year the same way. Or you say, oh, I'm going to get the DVDs out, the PX90, the Insanity, and I'm going to put it by the TV because I'm going to know that I'm going to do it, and I'm going to set my alarm an hour early. But you set your alarm an hour early and got the DVDs out, and you put them by the television last year. Okay. So what happened last year? And do you want to have the same experience this year? Because let me tell you, your mind is used to, and it's a preservation thing. You don't want to, your mind is on this high alert. Hey, I want to stay safe. I don't want to exercise if I don't have to. I mean, I want to stay alive. Exercise is stress. I don't want to restrict my food because that tastes good. Your mind does this to you. Okay. It's not necessarily your fault, but being aware of it, then yeah, you need to take responsibility for your actions. But your mind is like those grooves in sand that you see sometimes, either like on a beach when somebody's riding a four-wheeler, or sometimes these old country roads where I live, where trucks go on these dirt roads. You can see these grooves in the road, and when you drive on that same path, your tires automatically fall into those same grooves because it's just much easier. And the more you do that, the more you fall into those same grooves. easier. It just becomes easier and easier until it's well grouped out, and it's more difficult to not drive in those grooves. It's just really easy to let your tires fall in those grooves, and your mind is the same way. If you do the same thing last year, it's like it's like playing a movie that you've already seen, and you wonder how it's going to end. Well, we all know how it's going to end. You know how it's going to end. It ended the same way last year. It's going to end the same way this year that it did last year. So the important part is to do something new, is to do something different or a variation. Now, I'm not saying do something new like, well, I did a ketogenic diet last year and this year I'm going to do low fat. That's not what I'm saying. You still need to follow sound principles of health that will help you and not hinder you in your weight loss goals. But maybe you follow a slightly different program. Maybe last year, you started out on the bulletproof diet. Well, this year, go and get the wild diet. Try that for a change, or try the new Atkins diet, or something like that. That's a great diet for, especially if you're just starting out. You can lose a lot of weight on Atkins. Just the problem is that it stops eventually, and you need to switch to something else. Try something new. Okay, if you set your alarm an hour early last year, and you know that you did that, and then suddenly in the middle of the week it doesn't happen. This time, instead of setting it an hour early, set it an hour and 15 minutes early, or an hour and 5 minutes early, or put your alarm clock across the room. Just do something different, because you know how the story ends. If you play the same movie, it ends the same way. Do something different. If you did PX90 last year, do PX93 this year. Sign yourself up on, I have no affiliation with any of these people. These are just things that I like. If you did PX90 last year, then do Insanity this year. Sign yourself up for the yoga class at your gym that you don't normally go to, that you didn't go to last year. Or if you did yoga last year, sign yourself up for the spin class. You have to do something different. If you don't do anything different, then you are going to be you're gonna fall into the same traps that you did last year. So that's the first thing. That's like the most important thing. That I can't even begin to tell you how many times I see the same thing happening in my life, my family's life, friends' life. They bring the same lunches. They tell themselves the same things. They read the same books. They do the same, and it isn't that the books are bad. It isn't that the lunches are bad. It isn't that any of those things are bad. It is the power of the mind. It is the power of habit. That's the issue right there. It's the power of habit. Okay, if you have the habit of coming home and saying you're going to go to the gym, and sometimes like the first little while you're successful with it. Hey, I'll come home and I'll get my gym clothes and then I'll go to the gym. And you do that for 2 weeks, and then you stop. Then you come home and you're just like, you know what? I did it for 2 weeks and I'm tired and I owe it to myself to have a break, and boom, and you set. And that's what happened last year. And guess what? That's probably what's going to happen this year, right? So instead of doing that, bring your gym bag with you. Okay. You should bring your gym bag with you anyway, because it just motivates you. But that's just an example of something different to do. So you bring your gym bag with you this year instead of last year having to come home and change. And then you go straight to the gym rather than home to change, where all the temptation and everything is screaming at you not to go to the gym, right? That's what happens. Everything's screaming at you not to go to the gym, because you get home and oh well, you should clean this, and boy, you have this to do, and dinner's right around the corner. It'll be there. It'll be there. There's this magic principle about time. There's this magic principle about it, and that is this: the things you want to get done will get done. They will. It will happen. You don't. You say, "Oh well, I don't have the time." You do have the time. go to the gym, and maybe you won't be able to prepare the 7-course meal that you had, but you might have to stop at the store and pick up the baked chicken, the baked organic chicken or something like that. But it'll happen. Don't worry about it. Take care of the body that you have. Make that a priority rather than things that are going to be a priority that are going to hinder you in your weight loss. But make a change. Make a change. Set up a different game. Set up a different goal. Set up a different thing for yourself to do. Okay, and these are all things that I'm doing right now as well. Now, I want to digress for just a moment and share something personal with you, and it's very it's very humbling for me to do this because in one sense I feel like I I don't want to reveal like any of my struggles because in one sense I feel like I should be the person already there, already have arrived. And in another sense, I feel like if you can connect with me, then maybe that it'll make me more real to you. It'll involve us together more as a a community who listens to these kinds of podcasts. So it's kind of I have this it's like one sense I want to like take every picture, have every picture look good, and I've already in the past revealed this, so it's not. But every time I do, it's difficult. Okay. Even though I've revealed this in the past, every time I do, it's difficult. And what I want to talk about is my own struggle with this last gosh darn, 15, well, 5 to even 25 pounds, depending upon where I am, what's going on in my life. And then finally realizing, because I've done the same thing every year. Every year I said, look, I'm at a healthy weight. I'm at a good weight. I don't feel bad, but I don't feel like I want to feel. I don't, I want to be that person who's shredded. And I've said this before on the program. And what's different? Well, notice this the last few years, I've maintained a healthy weight. I got to a healthy weight. I've maintained a healthy weight. I'm in really good health, according to the doctors. I had all my panels drawn last, but I've never gotten to that point where I just feel like I could, magazine and be shredded and feel real super, super good about my body. And every year I talk about this, and every year I say the same thing. This year is going to be the year. This summer's coming up. I'm going to come up. I'm going to get it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I do the same thing. I bring out the same books. I go and I do the same. I say, oh, I'm going to fast on the same days. I'm going to eat the same foods and this time, and I'm only going to do this. And I give up too. I got to tell you, and this is why I'm saying this, because this year has already been different. I'm already doing different things than I did last year, and I'm having a lot of success. A lot of success on it, and I am just absolutely determined to do this. So I'll tell you a couple things that I've done. I've kind of mixed, consciously mixed the Paul McKenna method of weight loss with the paleo. That's the word I'm looking for. Paleo. I'm more paleo than I am ketogenic anyway, because I do like my salads and things like that. I go through ketogenic kinds of phases. So what I'm doing now is that I still am fasting 2 days a week. Days that I am not fasting, I am eating. I'm actually eating when I get hungry. And I'm eating slowly, and I'm kind of eating actually a little bit more liberally with some of the more natural carbs. I'm not talking about like pizza or anything like that, but war with my body right now. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not at war. So I'm trying to flesh this out for you to really kind of see the picture of it. Well, this last few years, I've really, and it served me to some degree to be at war with food and to be at war with my body. And the Gabriel method and the Paul McKenna method, while they have some flaws in them, they also have some really good things about them. And one of the good things about them that I said, look, I have to adopt this. I have to stop talking about forbidden foods. I have to stop putting this fight within myself. I have stopped with forbidden foods. I've absolutely stopped. Now, I'm not saying you should, because you might be at a different journey. I'm just telling you what I'm doing differently. And it's working for me on this end. And I'm going to show you why it's working for me in just a minute here. But okay, um so I stopped that. Just absolutely just stopped. Hey, I'm not going to do this anymore. And it's worked. Okay, so what I've done is, like, for example, when I go out to breakfast, I will order what's healthy for me. I will not tell myself no. Elements of this I've talked about before, and I only bring that up because patrons of the program will be like, hey, you talked about this a little bit before. I was like, yeah, but I'm taking my own advice. Okay, so I will not tell myself no. There's no forbidden food for me to eat. I will eat slowly when I'm hungry, and I will stop as soon as I'm finished. And if I still really want something, I will eat it, and I'll have it real slowly. And guess what? My desire to reach my weight loss goals and the very fact that I'm not struggling with food anymore, I'm not at war with my body. I'm not at war with who I am anymore. And it's been so freeing. And the thing is it just seems so ironic because you want to get at war with your body, you're going to get in there, you're going to kill it, you're going to do this, and you're going to say no to those carbs and no to those cupcakes and no to that. And what I found already this month is that I am cheating less. Yes, less, by simply not being at war with my body and focusing on good food. And I go, oh man, let's just make what's the best good food I could have right now that's the best for me, and eating that first and not telling myself no when it comes to things that I really struggle with, like pancakes and Mexican food and stuff like that. I have cheated less this month than a lot of other months so far. Like and I've eaten overall less too, because I'm eating, as Paul McKenna says, I'm eating consciously. I'm really enjoying my food. I'm eating consciously. I'm eating slowly, and I'm stopping as soon as I'm done. I did a 24-hour fast a couple days ago. And normally what happens is I'll start getting hungry around like 16, 17 hours, 18 hours. And then 20 hours is like, that's when I really have to kind of push through it or whatever. I'm really hungry by then. It's just by strength and distraction that I make it through that 24-hour fast. Since the first of the year, since I've been eating more often, slower, stopping as soon as I was full, I came up on my second 24-hour fast of the week, which was last week. And I did not feel a hunger pain until 20 hours into the day. And it wasn't severe. It was not severe. It wasn't like, oh man, I got to eat. No, I'm not going to eat, and struggle past it and then all that stuff. And then finally, I got like through like 25 and a half hours, honestly, because I went to the gym and I felt great. And I get too hungry, I'm just going to eat. And when I eat, I'm going to eat whatever I want. When I eat whatever I want, I'm going to eat real slow. I'm going to make healthy decisions first. And if I still want something bad for me, I'm going to have it. And I have actually done better this year. So that's, kind of like I said, I have to do something different. I'm playing the same program. I'm going, okay, Monday, 18 hours. Tuesday, I'll fast a full 24 hours, and then I'll eat, and I'll stuff myself because I'm only having healthy food anyway. And then Wednesday, I'll eat if I need to and all stuff. And now it became so obsessed around food. And I'm going to try to stay away, but Wednesday, and I've burned so many calories, and I'm so tired. And the Mexican food, and there's that tortilla and gosh darn it, I'll just go ahead and have one. And oh, I'm such a failure. Yeah, of course, why I know why I can't lose that last 10 pounds because I'm such a failure. I mean, I can't even go 3 days without having one item that's a cheat item, not a whole meal, but one item that's a cheat item. And then, well, okay, so Saturday comes and that's a cheat day, and I'll have that and I'll pig out on Saturday because I know that I'm not going to be able to have anything else the rest of the day and make myself sick. This Saturday came by. I said I did what I said I was going to do. I said, okay, you know what? If I want something to eat, cheap, I'll eat. I ate the healthy food first, and I had like maybe about 4 bites of a waffle. And I'm like, you know what? I'm full. I'm not hungry. And if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. I'll just go ahead and go off and do something else. And it's cheat day, so in an hour, if I'm hungry, if in 10 minutes I'm hungry, I'll go ahead and eat. I don't have any time restrictions. I did so much better this time, just naturally, without fighting. So right now, in my own personal development, I'm already um, doing better this year and doing something because I'm doing something different. Now, for some of you, something different is going to be something else, but it's something different, and I'm just explaining this right now. The other thing I did was I got myself uh, these things right here, these bowls. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it, but I got these bowls with these little pebbles in them, and each pebble represents kind of like a pound that I want to lose in my overall struggle. And I was brave enough to get on the scale after the holidays. And, I like, again, I kind of struggle with that between that 5 and 15 pounds. And I put on another like 5 pounds for the holiday season, which isn't too bad to only put on about 5 pounds for the holiday season. I didn't lose any weight either. Um, you know, through the method that I've talked about in the past. Um, and I already reached my first goal. My first goal was to get out of my 220s and back into my 2 teens. And as you can see, this represents the amount of weight that I'd like to lose. And there's about 18 pebbles in there right now. And here are 5 pebbles in here. And I didn't put these in here until I had weighed consistently for at least 2 days in a row. I don't weigh every day, but I weigh consistently because I don't want to weigh every day because I want to put a pebble in and put a pebble out and have a good day, have a bad day, that kind of thing. I only weigh myself maybe like once or twice a week to see where I am. So now it's kind of become a cool, fun challenge. At the end of the week, I'm like, all right, I got to be able to put pebbles in there. I got something, and it's just something new that I'm doing. I'm like, I got something new that I'm doing. I take a pebble from this bowl and I put it in this bowl, and I already reached one of my goals because my first goal was like 2 teams. I want to get down to, I'd like to get down to 200, but I was just like, I was up around, like 221 and then 223 after the holidays. And I was just like, I have got to get to back down at least into my 2 teens. And it was kind of like, it wasn't really, I don't know. I felt like my clothes were getting a little tighter, and I was just like, I got to do something. I got to do something this year. So this year, I really plan on, and I'm already taking the steps necessary. I'm making this a game. I am doing something different with my diet, and it's already working. So taking my own advice. So that's what I want to leave you with as well. Do something different this year. If you're not doing something different, and if you're not, there's other factors too. You've got to be hungry for it. You've got to want it. You've got to inspire yourself. You got to challenge yourself. You got to start somewhere. You got to get yourself educated. You got to get yourself motivated. You got to have a vision for yourself that will pull you in the direction of success rather than, you know, pushing yourself in the direction of success. All those good things that I talk about in regards to like NLP and things like that. Um, all those things are so important too. But the one thing that's really important is are you playing the same movie that you played last year? Are you having the same foods that you had last year? Are you having the same recipes? Is your week going the same way? Are you waking up in the same way that you did last year? We know how that ends. So do something different. And that's what I had to say for the program. So thank you for joining me today on the program. If you like what you heard, um, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share whatever you like on your favorite social media. Please help this grow. I'd really like to see it grow. It's already, you know, I really appreciate everybody who listens to this. I'm actually amazed at how many people do listen to this and do like what I'm doing. But that doesn't mean there isn't room for improvement. If you want to help me with that improvement, I would be most grateful. You can do two things right now. You can share this on your favorite social media, and you can go to my YouTube channel and subscribe there. And well, the other thing you can do by supporting the program is buying the book Diet Sins. It's my new book that's out. It's on Amazon, and it's free. So it doesn't get any better than free, and it's only $2.99 if you are not an Amazon Prime member. And connect with me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook at / a Mind for Fitness. And I also have an Instagram. I post a lot of stuff on there. Instagram's kind of a little bit more than just a Mind for Fitness. It's kind of like my life in pictures. And it is a private Instagram page. But honestly, if you go there, and you just send me a request, as long as I don't feel like there's anything creepy going on, I will definitely, approve your request to be on my Instagram page. So, hey, thank you so much for this. And you know what? Keep your mind on fitness. Keep reaching for those goals. All right. We'll see you next time.